Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, mammals. This video is going to be for NTI day number 10, which is Wednesday, March the 25th. We're going to start talking about our last chemistry topic, hurrah, and that is going to be mole conversions. And it's going to be a dimensional analysis type skill, so you'll have to kind of recall back to the beginning of the year where we set up the railroad tracks method. We're going to solve these problems that way too. So today I'm going to show you some of the units that you'll be converting between and kind of the purpose behind it, which is to count by weighing. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. So let's imagine that you go to the bank and you've got a large jar of change that you want to trade in for dollar bills. The value obviously depends on how many coins of each type that you have. But the teller isn't going to take the time to count out all your coins. That would take way too long. I mean, that's the reason you brought them to the bank, because you didn't want to count them either. What they're going to do instead is they're going to separate them by type and then just weigh them. They know how much each penny, nickel, dime, and quarter weighs, and so then they can figure out how many that you have by weighing them. A lot easier than actually hand counting them out. We're going to be doing the same way with atoms because they're also too small and too numerous to count. So we're going to kind of think of atoms, too small, too many to count, like coins, too small, too many to count. And just like the coins, we're going to weigh them and convert that to a number, because at the atomic scale it's the number of atoms that matter to a reaction. You know, a water molecule has to be 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. It can't be any other combination for that. But at our human scale, these things are too small for us to count out. So when we're designing reactions, we need to use weight, something that we can measure, in order to convert to the number of atoms. So the skill that we're doing here is taking something that we want to know that's too hard to measure, which is the number of atoms, and determining that by something that's easy to measure, like weight. And we're going to have a new unit that allows us to do that, and it's called the mole, kind of short from molecule, whatever. And it allows chemists to count atoms by weighing them. And it's kind of this go-between between number of atoms and weight. And so, like any go-between, it's got to have kind of 2 parts of the definition. So one definition is a mole is going to be this number. It's a huge number, 6, a 0, a 2, and a 2, followed by 20 more zeros. You're not even going to be able to enter this into your calculator without using scientific notation. So make sure that you've got good skills on the scientific notation on your calculator. You could type it in. If you want to type it in using like the kind of the caret for the exponents, make sure, doubly sure, that you use parentheses, or you can use the E key that we talked about, where then all you have to type in is the exponent. Just pick away, both of them will work, but be consistent with it. So a mole is that number of particles, a huge number again because atoms are small, but it could also be molecules. So that's why I'm kind of saying particles here, because we could be talking about things that come as individual atoms, or we could be talking about things that come as a collection of atoms in a molecule. The other definition of a mole is the atomic mass in grams of any element. So if you think to the periodic table, we've been looking at only the atomic number so far, the whole number. And I told you to forget about any of the decimal numbers that are there. We're going to start using that now, and this is the atomic mass. It's an average. I should be more specific, average atomic mass. So if I have 1 mole of sodium in this case, it will weigh 22.99 grams. And out of habit, some of these are longer than others. I use 2 decimal places and do my rounding to whatever it is to 2 decimal places. If I have a heavier atom, let's say lead, I don't know lead's atomic number off the top of my head, but its atomic mass is 207.2. So lead has more protons, neutrons, and electrons, so a single lead atom weighs a whole lot more. So if I have a mole of them, it's now going to weigh 207.2 grams. Even though they both have the same number of particles, they would both have 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. That many lead atoms weighs a lot more than that many sodium atoms. So this is kind of a handy-dandy summary for the different quantities that we're going to be going between. I might start you out with mass, and if I start you with mass, the only place that you can go is moles. I might start you with atoms, and the only place that you can go is to number of particles. And then kind of the go-between that links atoms and mass are moles. And so this is handy because it shows you the ratio that you need to use for your dimensional analysis. If I didn't supply a specific number here, you have to go get that number. In this case, this number would come from the periodic table. That's the atomic mass that we were looking at. In this case, it's coming from the formula. The formula might tell us how many atoms are in a molecule. So water, as my example, tells us that there are 2 hydrogen atoms in a molecule of water, or 3 total atoms in a molecule of water, depending on how I worded the question. This one, you'll notice I gave you a specific number there, and that's because, as we talked about in the definition on the previous one, there's always 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles in any mole. Okay, so I'll get to a few example problems today, and we'll do a few more tomorrow, because there's an extra added step that we have to do when we're dealing with things that come as molecules, and I'm not going to cover it today. So the things that you should have out when you're doing this little reference chart here, and a periodic table, so we can look at our atomic masses. There we go, lead's number 82, but I remember the right number. So my example problem here, I gave you grams, so I've given you a mass. So we're starting here at mass, and I asked for moles. So I'm going to have to go from mass to moles. So I'm going to start my dimensional analysis problem, and if you remember this skill, we make railroad tracks. Whatever number the problem gives you always goes in the top. So I have 35 grams. And so now I need to use this ratio, and I need to set it up so that if I have grams in the top, the grams need to go in the bottom. So I actually need this one flipped from how it was written. So 1 mole. And then I go to the periodic table, and this asks me for phosphorus, and I need to get the atomic mass of phosphorus. So keeping to 2 decimal places, I'm going to round that to 30.97. And that is my number of grams in a mole. And I put it on the bottom so that grams cancel, and it leaves me with the unit that I'm looking for, moles. So now I know that I'm ready to calculate. If you have a number on the bottom, you divide by it. So what I'm going to enter in my calculator is 30 divided by 30.97, and I get 1.1 moles. Okay, so now I'm going to do a different problem. I have started with moles. Problem gave me 0.75 moles, and it said find the mass. So I'm going the opposite way as my last one. I'm going to start with my railroad tracks again, put my starting number in the top. My little cheat sheet here tells me that I need to use a ratio of grams to mole, and I need to put the 1 mole in the bottom this time so it will cancel out. And I go to sulfur and get sulfur's atomic mass, which is 32.07 grams. Moles cancel. And so now I have two numbers on the top of my dimensional analysis. That tells me to multiply. So 0.75 times 32.07 equals 25.18 grams. Okay. Moving on. Find the number of atoms in 1.5 moles of Ne. So I've started with moles, and it wants number of atoms. So I've got to go through both of these. So I want to go kind of stepwise here. Starting my dimensional analysis, 1.5 moles. Okay. And there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles. I'm just going to abbreviate particles with a P per 1 mole. Moles cancel. Now I need to go from particles to atoms. Now if I look at this, I can see this does not come as a molecule. It's just a single atom. So the formula would just be Ne. And how many atoms of Ne are there in Ne? Just one. So my formula number is 1 atom per 1 particle here. So 1 atom per 1 particle. So this isn't going to change my answer because it's just multiplying by 1 over 1. But you'll see some other problems where we're dealing with things that aren't just single atoms. Now, if you left this off, would it affect you on this problem? No. But I'm just showing really thorough there so that you aren't confused when it does matter. So now I need to multiply 1.5 times 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. And I get 9.03 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Okay. Find the number of moles in 3.5 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of carbon. Okay, so we're starting at atoms and we want to go to moles, so this is now the opposite problem from last time. Whoops, that is my highlighter, not my pencil. Alright, so 3.5 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Again, carbon, it's just one carbon atom per particle. So 1 atom per 1 particle. So I'm thinking about this. Next slide we'll do one where it does matter. So again, it wouldn't matter if you left this off. It wouldn't change it. So if you're like super pro, you can skip this. But I'm just showing it to be super complete. Okay, now I'm in particles. 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles per 1 mole. So this is getting me the one particle from one atom. This step got me to here. I'm in particles, now I need to go to moles. So that tells me to use this ratio. I chose to put the 6.022 particles on the bottom so that my particles cancels. And now the only thing that's left is moles, which is what I want my answer to be. So I'm going to do 3.5 times 1 over 1 divided by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. So that is 0.58 moles. Okay. Last example for today. Yep, last example. And it's one where I want to show you why I was including that 1 over 1 step, even though it didn't matter on those two problems. Here, it will matter. And maybe that'll clarify why I was doing that. So what I'm doing for this one is I have moles, and it wants me to get to number of atoms. But what you can notice here is the difference is I have a compound instead of just a single atom. So that means this box is going to have something other than just 1 over 1. So starting with my given, 0.25 moles. I'm going to first convert to particles. So I'm going to use this ratio, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particle over 1 mole. Moles are gone. In this case, my particle has 2 hydrogen atoms. So 2 atoms per every 1 particle or 1 molecule. And I got that from my formula. It asked me only about the hydrogen atoms, and so my formula tells me that there's 2 hydrogen atoms for every 1 water. So now cancel the particles. The only thing that's left is atoms, so I know I'm ready to go. So I'm going to do 0.25 times 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd times 2. And that gets me 3.011 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Okay, so I hope this gets you through some of the problem sets that I left for today's assignment, and we'll do a little more tomorrow, adding an extra step onto this end. So as always, take care of yourself and others, practice good hygiene, and I'll see you on the flip side.